Hello, this is the United States of America. And guess what today is? It is the Autumnal Equinox, also called September Equinox or Fall Equinox, or the first day of fall. It is today, Thursday, September 22nd. This date marks the start of the fall in the Northern Hemisphere and spring in the Southern Hemisphere. There's different signs about how we mark the equinox. The fall equinox, as you thought would just be a day, is actually got a time. It arrives on Thursday, September 22nd, which is today at 9:04 p.m. Eastern Time in the Northern Hemisphere. And it occurs at the same moment worldwide. This year, it happens on September 22nd. Next year, it will be September 23rd. The autumnal equinox for the Southern Hemisphere will be next year on March 20th. So, what is the autumnal equinox? Well, the autumnal equinox is an astronomical event that marks the start of autumn or fall in the Northern Hemisphere. The autumnal equinox occurs in September. In the Southern Hemisphere, as I mentioned, it occurs in March. During an equinox, what happens is it's when the sun crosses what we call the celestial equator, which is an imaginary extension of the equator line all the way into space. When the equinox occurs precisely when the sun's center passes through this line. So basically cut the sun in half. For those in the Northern Hemisphere, when the sun crosses the equator going from north to south, that's the autumnal equinox. When it comes from the south to north, that marks the vernal equinox, which is also the autumn equinox for the Southern Hemisphere. After the autumnal equinox, days become shorter than nights. Oh no. As the sun continues to rise later and nightfall arrives earlier. So the days are actually going to be shorter than the nights are. This ends with the winter solstice, after which days start to grow longer once again, which I believe is sometime in December. The word equinox comes from a Latin equus, meaning equal, or not, and nox, meaning night. On the equinox, which is today, day and night are roughly equal in length, which would be about 12 hours. One of the favorite pieces of trivia surrounding the autumnal equinox involves its relationship with the full moon. Curiously, the full moon that occurs nearest to the autumnal equinox is always called the harvest moon. Isn't that interesting? So, this year, the harvest moon happened on Saturday, September 10th. That was the last full moon. So, note that the fall foliage isn't due to current weather conditions. This is common misconceptions. That's where all the leaves change, and that also happens in the fall. So we have that to look forward to in the fall. We also have got cooler temperatures like it is right now, except for, I believe, Texas is still pretty hot. But the temperatures start cooling down, and then you know what happens in like November? We start seeing snow. So, this United States of America saying, here's a little fun facts about fall. So thanks a lot for watching, and don't forget to tell your friends and family to subscribe to Minnesota and Oregon. See you later.